if there are some new people joining in today, welcome. Um, Okay, hope you had a good discussion in the breakout rooms. Able to get to some answers, if not all, from the case. And yeah, here's how we will structure it. Very similar to the last one. I will spend some time hearing your thoughts, how you attempted the problem. Then we'll go on to I explaining how I would have done it, walk you some of the steps, clear your doubts along the way. And yeah, at the end, we will take a few more questions, whatever there are. That's pretty much it. If you have been in the last session, I'll open up the room for questions at different points in time. Keep using chat in the meanwhile if you have any questions. Everyone with me so far, I'm assuming. Cool. Yeah, let's get started. I would first want to know, how did you folks attempt this case? What would you discuss in the breakout rooms? Let's raise your hands and then we can go in order once whoever wants to share. Okay, I see a few hands raised. That's good. Yes, Sapna, let's start with you.
Yeah, so we observed some patterns like provided us, like what are the cities having the highest kind of order value and which age group ordered more than the other groups, and from which kind of like from which acquisition models we had kind of first week retention higher than how the retention drops down. So we found out that referrals had higher kind of first week retention, 40%, but then ultimately it dropped to 16%. And other models have the same kind of pattern, where kind of I believe that when people have
referrals are already a part of the problem that was given to you, the problem blur. So I'm more interested in knowing what insights you draw from the data. So you talked about age, you talked about cities. What were the findings that you folks had?
So we found out that the people with 30 plus age groups had higher order value, like 1400 plus.
Higher order value, okay.
Yes, and we found out that it might be because like the people with 30 plus age groups have higher income or have higher spending ability. Like these are some kind of our like back of the thought process. Apart from that, we found out that the people who saved the video kind of had coming back to the platform in terms of other who didn't save the video.
Okay.
Also, I think
one question, you said people beyond age 30 plus had higher order value, and why was order value important? Like, why was higher order value important?
Like they had much orders, like below that age group, people might have ordered one time or max 2 times.
But more number of orders.
Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah, you were talking a bit about save the recipe and something about that.
Yes. The people who saved the video kind of had, again, the higher kind of order numbers rather than people who kind of didn't save the video or watch the video.
Okay, saving the video, you said had a higher, like it had a higher impact on people ordering?
Not a lot, but yes, it had like partial impact.
My finding is different. I think saving the video did not add value to the platform. So
because people might have watched the video and they didn't need more orders from that platform, or like they already know what to cook and all those stuff.
Okay, awesome. That's good. That's good to hear. I think something's in the right direction.
Hi, I was also in the same thing. We concluded that the recipes, if they were saved, then that had any more impact.
Okay, recipe saving had an impact on ordering.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go through. I have a very different finding from when I did the analysis. We will look at it and let's see if maybe I made an error. We'll have a look. Can you show me the working of how you found out the saving recipe had a impact? If you could share your screen and show me. Sapna, Prasanna, any of you can go ahead.
Can I display my screen? I have something to show.
Let's just maybe get done with Sapna and Prasanna and then I'll come to you, Ishika. Or if you're all from the same group, any one of you can go ahead.
We didn't actually map it out on this thing. At some point, we just stopped getting insights. So this one's from ChatGPT. We just posted all the data over there.
Oh, that's bad. You shouldn't have. Yeah, no, that you shouldn't have done that. That's not ideal. It doesn't help you learn. Yeah, see, if it would have been absolutely fine if you would have tried by yourself and came to this class, you would have had more learnings than you would have by doing via ChatGPT. So strongly not recommended to do that. Okay, I'll move on to the next person. Shavik, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah.
So my screen is visible right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So we actually walked through the solution. Okay. So did a little bit of data crunching. So my like what our group, the results were a little different. what we basically did is, in terms of spending power, we wanted to check like which are the demographics which we can consider for our user personas, and hence we started with different numbers which we looked at. So to answer your question, like first thing what you were asking, like in terms of video, like saved or not saved. So even I got the same result. Like I feel like it's almost a 50-50% blend. So hence
Okay.
I found there is no resonance there. For us, like what we basically found out was, with order values of 800 and above, so we have around 400, almost 40% of the audience were there. And like it's so age group between 20 to 30 is what we had taken as our target segments, like basis the data.
Why 20 to 30? Could you just elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah. The reason being, like we saw like maximum number of orders are being placed by these groups, and their relatively order value, what we can say is, like if you can see my screen, it is close to 600, and 35 to 40 is around 680. Their order value is more, but then the quantum is less. So in terms of for us, for our like to draw
So
user person.
two questions on this before we move forward. I see all others are big brackets of 5. It's 30, 35, 35, 40, 40 plus. But this is 20 to 30. Is that coloring your data in some other way? Like maybe
No,
it's
no.
just a larger group and that's why it is appearing to be that way?
No. So we did actually initially we bucketed in terms of 5. I can do that, but the results were relatively showing the same. So it was coming between
We thought
20 to
let's club
35.
these.
So we wanted to further see, like whether our data is right or not. So hence we just clubbed it together.
Okay. And you're saying their number of orders are higher than every other group. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. In terms of spending above 800 and above. So here I filtered in terms of spending like 800 and above. Like that's what I have.
And why is spending 800 above important for us? Also, why the number 800 and why is spending more than 800 is important for us?
Okay. So we actually checked in different. So for instance, if you see if you can see the screen. So we had initially bifurcated into less than 300, 300 to 600, 600 to 800, and 800 plus. So what we saw is between 20 to 30 age group. So around 210 people, like out of the, so over 50% of them are spending 800 plus. Yeah.
I got that. You're saying there is a particular cohort that has a higher total spend than everyone. But why is higher spend important is what I am not able to comprehend.
Actually, I would like to answer. I'm in Shauvik's team only.
Yeah.
So, Devansh, we looked at that higher spend because in the question it mentioned we have to figure out the high segment value. Jahan par we have to target the people, right? So it was in the question we have to make a consumer segment where we can start working on and we can, so that we can focus less on the other people, right? So what we did, we first focused on making that consumer segment. So now the 800 number is defined by us only. We have taken that as an average order.
So, okay, hold on, sorry. I'm not questioning 800 number. That is my second part of the question. My first question is why spend higher is a higher value segment?
So it is not just about spending higher, it is also about the repeat number of orders. So they have maximum number of orders as well. Hence, for us to do any kind of analysis, it will be easier to understand, okay, these are our user personas, these are our customer segments whom we can get the like better blend of answers from for our analysis further.
Okay. So there is one, and maybe it is pointed to that, but there is one fundamental problem that we are missing. So you were on point when you said number of orders, which is good. So you're saying their spending capacity is higher, they're spending more. So that would ideally translate into higher number of orders. But is it really translating to higher number of orders per user? Is it just because there are more 20 to 30 age group people in my, like there are 100 of them, and as a result there are 80 orders on the platform, but there is a cohort which are lesser in number, but they are ordering more. So isn't order per user more important than total number of orders or total amount spent?
But in that case, like if you see their average order value, so if that would have been the case, the average order per value would have dropped. So here we have close to around like after the 35 to 40 like age group, it is 20 to 30 bucket like age group is where the maximum average order is higher. So it is almost, it's resonates same.
But what is your how does it compare to your total number of users in that bucket? So can you give me order per user, like orders per user in each of these? Also, if someone else is from Shauvik's group, do you want to go ahead and explain the rest of the working while he does that bit?
Once again, I'll just do it.
So can I display my screen now?
Ishika will go in order. So we'll do Shauvik and then we'll do Rohit and then I'll come to you. I should be able to cover all three of you. That should be fine. We have some time, so don't worry.
So I'll put the count of orders. Okay, so here is the count of orders. So for instance, like when we bifurcated this 800 plus, we see that, the count of orders between 20 to 30 groups is higher.
That's okay. So I am not concerned about the 800 order at all. I'm saying, give me count of orders and count of total users and a division of that.
Okay, so this is the count of users.
Right.
So between 20 to 30, it is around 430 sites.
That's
So
good.
yeah. So hence, like the overall percentage in terms of the like thousand, so we have around
Let's
40%.
get the count of users as well. Just add user ID also there.
Anyways, it is going to come up to the same 436 because those are all unique user IDs itself.
That's odd. That is very odd because your sheet had a data of total number of orders per user as well, right? So it shouldn't be the case.
Sorry, I didn't get your.
If you just open the base sheet.
Yeah.
So you see there is number of orders as well.
Yeah.
The column number K. So
yeah.
And you see a lot of values are more than one. So it shouldn't
So
be.
here, what out here we had done is we had drawn the sum of it. So 20 to 30, we had put sum.
So give me the sum of orders and the users.
Okay. So I'll do that. Both. So here itself. Yeah. So between 20 to 30, what we can say
is order
is
per user now. Let's do order per user. Just in column U, if you can divide the two, give us a ratio.
You want orders per user.
So S by R.
Yeah, orders per user. We have S.
We have to do equal to, no?
By R.
Devansh, I was in the same group as the Souvik. So until he do these calculations, so may I describe further?
No, it's okay. We will hold on. So you see, while the only thing that I was trying to point out is, so you see the average order per user looks slightly higher for everything else than 2030. That was one potential analysis error that I was trying to point out, because we have taken everything on absolute values and focusing on total number of orders. It does appear that this is a bigger cohort and maybe the most important one to go after, but their orders per user is lesser than all of the other cohorts, right?
Yeah, but then like it is relatively like 2 orders per.
That's okay. We are looking at a sample data set. I was just trying to bring that thinking that the frequency is of more importance than the absolute value. Let's move a bit fast. I want to give other people a chance. So whatever else you folks found, let's quickly cover that.
Okay. So the other thing is, we saw like in terms of demographics, Chennai is one thing which we draw, like has the highest number of orders and order value. Android users, web was not significant in terms of because only 9% of the users are from web. So that is the other thing which we found. And do you want me to answer the questions which are
No, it's okay. You can just walk me through whatever you found out, and
okay. So
I will refer back to your findings whenever I am also going to it. So it's
okay. Yeah. So these were our findings.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Shobhik. I think you've done a lot of things well. You folks have done a few analysis, and I like the use of pivot tables. I was hoping some of you use that, so that's good. Yeah, Rohit, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead? I'll give you slightly less time, but.
Yeah. So firstly, my team, breakout team, was really good. There was Nikam who really nailed the data through the SQL queries. So what we got was we got a really dense segment in the age gap. So we doubled down upon that. So we didn't do the location wala thing.
Okay.
But we segmented it in a way where it was 15 to 22. The minimum, the minimum was 20. So what we did was divided it into 3 segments. 15 to 22, that was the students, school wale bache who were there. So they were not really of mentioning in our data. Data also showed that. And then 22 to 32, I guess. And then above that.
Okay.
So what from our data, then Ekam also did what was key. We made 3 tiers based on the average order values. So based upon the customers, we got the gold tier, silver tier, and bronze tier.
Yeah, share your finding first, and then I'll ask you questions of how you got there. So, what was your finding?
Okay, sure. So, as I said, based on the tiers, we found that the gold tier, which was the highest, most priority of customers, we found that the 32 to 50 age wala bracket was the highest percentage in all the segments, and then second was followed by 22 to 35 age.
Okay.
So that is, and for the below 22, we found that it is 10% to 11% in all aspects. So we knew that segment is to be not prioritized right now.
Okay.
So regarding the prioritization wala question, we double down that 35 to 50 is the first segment we need to focus upon, and then the 22 to 35 wala age. And yeah, that was about the segmentation. And there were a few more. So there was a product growth wala experimentation thing. Acha, we need to give the answers of all the questions here.
That's okay. Whatever you have is fine. Whatever you already have figured out, that's fine.
Sure. And just from that, we also found the insights that were given about the marketing, that Instagram, SEO, and the blogs, food bloggers wala thing. We also found that the Instagram was not very good in based upon the week per week retention.
That's already there in the problem statement itself. Like it's part of the problem statement itself. So that's fine.
Sure.
Cool. So you're saying age 30 plus is the 30 to 50 is the age range to focus on. Like if I had to say the first question in the recommended action section, right, which says what does it say?
Segments we need to focus upon.
1-2 segments we need to focus on. So you're saying age 30 to 50 is probably something that you would focus on.
Yeah, first segment was 22 to 35 and 35 to 50.
Got it. The only thing I would comment on this is that the age range itself feels very high. I would have expected you to go a bit more deeper. So there is no user beyond 45 any. So 30 to 50 anyways feels a bit off. We are recommending that. But fair. You're saying this is the age range to focus on. That's good. We will go in a bit more deeper as we go through. Cool. We'll move forward. Thanks, Rohit. Ishika, why don't you go ahead? Sorry, I kept you waiting, but had to go in that order.
It's okay. So can I share my screen?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes.
So I did this kind of the tables are not harder. So this is I found that females females average order per user it is 1.98, and also I did a city wise comparison, and the highest orders are coming from Delhi, and that is Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are our findings? Say if I had to like if the marketing guy comes to you and asks what segments to focus on, what would be your answer? Nishika, can you hear us? Are you here with us? Nishika, are you there? We're able to see her screen, but can't hear her. Nishika,
Hello?
can you hear us? Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, your voice is breaking constantly. Can't hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I talk about the segmentation, we should focus on the female customers in the age group of 35 to 44 years. And
Why focus on female customers? Can you show it to me again?
Because the average order per user is higher in case of female customers, 1.98.
Okay.
And moreover, the female customers are more loyal customers.
Okay.
If I check the metrics, the repeat rate for the female customers is 57.9%. That is close to 58%.
Got it. Not that high. I would say they are broadly in the same range, but I get the way you've done the analysis. That makes sense. Okay.
And the average order in the age of it is 2.03 in the age group of 35 to 44.
Right. And how did you come to this analysis? Like, because I'm not seeing any formula in this sheet. So
this I have done by a help of AI only.
Okay. Then I think doesn't make a lot of sense to look at this, because I was expecting people who would have done the analysis themselves. If it is done by AI, sure. I mean, doesn't help us a lot going through this. Thanks. I'll move on to the next person. Ashni, why don't you go ahead?
Hi, Devansh. So essentially,
you can stop sharing.
Essentially, in terms of quantum of insights that we figured, that's not a lot, but I will just share the insights that we have sort of discovered. Give me a second, I'll share my screen first.
And cool. Please tell me you've not done AI analysis.
We've not done AI. Yeah. So what we figured was that demographic is not.
Close my video, please. I am just seeing a big thing. You can close it.
One second.
Yeah.
This is better. Yeah. Okay. So essentially, what we figured was demographic would probably not be a very great cut to take because you were able to.
Why is that? Why is demographic and not?
We saw a lot of cuts and there's not a significant difference. I'll walk you through it. What we were able to figure out that so we took averages only, that average order value. We also saw a lot of anomalies in the data where.
Okay. What anomalies? Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah. So if I were to take up 0 order, there's still a spend.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And also if we didn't know if this was an anomaly, but we thought the data is sort of corrupted. Also, if I were to see the first access and the last active, ideally the last active should be higher than first active. But when I was looking at this number of active days, there's also negative, which means essentially that the first active is later than your last active.
Yeah, these dates are in the future. They're not even real dates. Like we've not even arrived at those dates yet. So good thing. Yeah. I was expecting a lot of you to highlight this. Just also, I'll take a minute. Just also brings us to a learning that not all data is always sacrosanct, and we need to just go through the data and ensure that we have removed the noisy data. But probably all of this data it's not like someone has corrupted it on purpose, or we have given you this data because we wanted to just mess with you. mostly the data that you get at any of the tech companies, right? There is always scenarios like this. Why it happens? Because of multiple reasons. There is a testing team who must be testing with some mock data. Some engineer will do some mock testing. So always the data gets corrupted. There is always scenarios like this. Even when I was at Hotstar, I always used, like, we were doing every analysis, we would just go ahead and put a filter of watch time greater than 0, because there was so much data which watch time equal to 0, which did not make sense at all. We would just filter for that. So good thing you folks found that out. That's great. Yeah, let's move ahead. But did you all then remove it from your analysis, or you kept
We
it?
did. We looked at both the cuts. So essentially, if I were to look at the first insight that we were getting, here we've like active days greater than 0. That's what we've put it. And we've also observed that between app and web, the AOV is higher on web.
Okay.
Some of the data was counterintuitive to what we actually see in day-to-day life. But anyway, regardless, we found this, that the AOV is higher on web. If we were to look at Android versus iPhone, and if we were to take this cut on active days, we would still figure that on iPhone, as you would expect, the result is counterintuitive. On Android, there is the AOV is higher, and the average orders per user is also higher in Android. 2 versus 1.8. Not a significant difference, but still.
Just a minute. So averages typically tend to also, while they show some things, they also hide something. Did you back it up? Like, did you think about why is Android lesser than iPhone? Try to just break your analysis itself with, say, trying to find more points?
Like more cuts in the data?
More cuts or different alternate analysis, right? So how I was working with Shovik, and when he said 20 to 30 is a good thing to focus on, and then we looked at, oh, is it really our orders per user significantly higher, and then we found out that it is not the case. So anything like that you folks did? If not, that's also fine. I'm just asking for me to know what you all did.
Not in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's keep moving forward.
Okay. On city, so why we say that demographic didn't really make sense for us to take cut on was this as well. On city level, when we see here, if I were to look at, we grouped the age in intervals of 5, given that we also had a range from 40 to 44. So we didn't take a length of 10. We took a length of 4. We saw that the split among these tier 1 cities is similar. So 15 for Mumbai, 15 for Chennai, Bangalore 14.9. So very similar sort of spread across cities, if you were to see the sum. Even in the data range, the grouped intervals, also there was not a lot of difference, because if we were to say that 20 to 25 here is 3%, at some other place it was, not peaking in 20 to 25, right? 20 or 25 to 29. So not a lot of difference in the spread across age or city in that respect.
Why? I will just one more question, and then I'll pause and I'll go to my analysis. Why is user split important at all? Like, why number of users in a particular age group important really?
Number of users in an age group important really to see what like higher number of users mean higher number of like the propensity to consume number of orders will be higher.
That's our current state, right? That users are split equally across different cohorts. But as someone said, we are trying to find the high value segments, right? Why does this age related split? How does it even tell us if they are high value or not? Like, you have split Mumbai in different age groups, but does it really tell if some of them are high value or not?
Does it tell? We've also taken average order value here.
Right. That's a good thing to do, right? Average order value can tell us maybe they're high value or not, but just splitting by age range doesn't. It's just a scenario of, yeah, sure, there are 30% users in 2024. Sure. Are they spending more than 40 to 44? That's
Makes
what
sense.
that's what is more important. Cool. I'll cut you. I need to move forward so that we make the best use of time. Thanks a lot, Ashneet, and thanks everyone. Good looking at your insights. I think some of the things that were part of my showing that I wanted to show, some of you folks did that, so that's great. Cool, awesome. I will just share my screen. Give me a second. Okay, awesome. So a lot of you were doing analysis, and there are a lot of questions in the problem statement as well, right? And it's very easy to get confused on what to focus on, what not to focus on. Just a simple question from you folks. Say if this protagonist, Aditi, let's just try to imagine what would happen if she was successful in whatever she was trying to do. What would success look like for us? Say she did the analysis really well, also went to users, spoke to them, or got all amazing insights, and then passed on this data to their marketing and ops team, and they took decisions based on that. what do you think would be the metrics that improve on for their business? What do you think would improve? Feel free to unmute and give your answers. No need to raise hands.
Reduction of customer acquisition cost.
Acquisition cost. Okay. Sure.
Number of orders.
I want very simple answers. Just the most simplest one. Number of orders someone said. That's good.
Number of orders in a given period of time.
Number of orders in a given
High
period.
retention rate.
Okay.
Value of orders.
Revenue.
Number of users using that.
Low operation cost.
Okay, let's pause.
Loyal repeat customers.
Okay, let's pause. Now, some of you said revenue. Any one of you, sorry, not revenue. Some of you said, what did you say? Number of orders. Oh, so retention, sorry. Retention. Why do you think retention improvement is success for them? Anyone just unmute one of you.
Higher lifetime value.
Okay, sorry, that's not working. Raise your hands, let's go that way. Yeah, Rohit, go ahead.
Because I think in the data it said 65% of the people were dropping off after 1-2 orders only.
Okay.
That's why retention would be a big KPI for them.
Okay, so say we improved retention. Do we really care about retention, or retention is just an indicator to monitor something else? Like what do eventually the business care about?
The revenue.
The revenue. And revenue, if we go a bit deeper from revenue, of course, revenue, yes.
Profit margin.
Profit margins, okay, that's good. Someone said higher LTV, and that's the direction that I was trying to get to, right? If there are enough customers, you all can put out, that's fine. Someone also said repeat orders from same customers, right? So for any business, the good users are the ones that keep returning back to you. Your acquisition costs can be high. You will of course try to bring them down. But effectively, if I'm able to find a user base that keeps returning back to me every now and then I've made it as a business. I will just try and find more customers like that. And with that, I can keep growing my business meaningfully, right? Because if a user comes to my platform and they stick forever, then that's good enough. That is the eventual goal that we want to achieve. Which is why if you see, and there's also a hint that is given in the problem statement, right? There is a loyalty tier program that is already defined. That we have said there are certain set of users which have higher orders, have a higher retention rate. Which, if I were working on this company, which segment do you think I should focus on between these three? Put your answers in chat. Don't need to say it out loud. Okay. I am seeing most gold. Some of you are saying silver. Who said silver? Rohit, why do you think why it should be silver?
Because I think the gold users have really, like, what we are trying to do is get the customers to like the product.
Right.
So gold justifies they like and they're using it. But silver is something they are holding their emotions back. Should we do or not? If we get the emotions right or get the features right, we can get the numbers to more revenue, if that makes sense.
Say if you were an ice company, just produce ice, right? And you see 90% of your users typically order ice once a month. And then there is 10% of the users who order ice almost daily. And you have no understanding what these 10% of users are, how are they different from the remaining 90%. What would you try to do more? Would you try to understand where are these 10% users coming from, and let's just get more of them on the platform so that this becomes 20%, 30%? Or would you care about the 90% of users who just buy once a month?
I think I would first go upon the 10%,
right?
See why they like it, and then implement on the 90%.
It could be the case that 90% don't even have the same use case that the remaining 10% have, and maybe 10% is the key area to focus on. It could be, you could say that the total market in India or the geography that I'm operating in, I have already exhausted all of that and they are already on my platform, and that time it would make sense to go on the remaining 90%. But if there is something that is bringing me business very regularly, I would focus on that segment. Everyone with me so far?
Also, we can say that like the number of customers for 10% is higher as compared to 90%, right? So we can have more value adding to our business for number of customers.
So for example, if I had a magical ball that could tell me whether a user could turn out to be a bronze user or a silver user or a gold user, I would always ask for every user, is this person a gold user or not? And if they would say yes, I would try to bring that user heavily on the platform. I'll do everything to bring them onto the platform. So the larger point that I'm trying to land is gold users are very important users for us, because if we're able to find more of them, they just typically be a much more valuable addition to the business. They're already finding value. So there is a set of users who is finding value, doing greater than 6 orders in a month. Doing greater than 6 orders. If you're just able to identify what are the characteristics of these users, we will run more ads for them. We will target them more and bring them more onto the platform. I'm hoping all of this is clear. I will. Okay. Sorry, something happened. Yeah. Okay, I will skip this. Oh God, why am clicking FaceTime?
Hi Devansh, I have a question.
Sorry, could you voice it out in the chat? I just need to move on to a few things, or we can take it at the end, of course. So yeah, cleaning filters. I think Arshni did a great job. There are two things which I typically did. I saw first access was something that was problematic. Some dates were in the future. I applied a simple filter to say, yeah, date should be before tomorrow. So less than today or less than today is the date that I'm focusing on. Anything beyond that is bad for us. Orders should not be equal to 0. They should be greater than 0. So I applied those filters, just did a copy paste, and I have a cleaner data set. If you see, these are 629 rows, and the original data set was 100,000 rows. So we typically removed almost 340 rows, 360 rows, which is a lot, right? So much bad data coloring our insights. Need to remove that. Did that. I did one more thing. As I was talking about, right? Loyalty is very important to us, because if I am able to find more gold customers, they would add a lot of value to our business. So I just put a simple logic derived in a sense that I could add a column of which loyalty tier a customer belonged to, right? I just added a simple if else statement here. I was very much tempted to do this, by the way. For a lot of you who did ChatGPT, I was extremely tempted to do this. It would have been a lot easier for me, but I didn't. I wrote the formula myself. It just keeps me active with Excel as well. So yeah, you should at least at this stage run analysis by yourself rather than asking ChatGPT. Coming back to this, I added a loyalty tier. Everyone with me so far? Just drop a simple yes in the chat, and if not, please say yeah. Okay, I'm seeing. Cool. It looks like a lot of you get it. So yeah, I just added one more column. You can call it derived columns or derived data sets. Now let's look at the data set that we have in front of us, right? What do we do with it? The idea is to let's identify some of the questions that we want to answer with our analysis. Because if we don't have questions, then we will do random analysis. It will not end up coming out to be anything meaningful for the business or for the questions that you asked, right? So identifying what questions that you want to answer with analysis is very important. Looking at the data, it looks like, okay, there is city, age, gender, which are more demographic sort of data that I have. So I will look and see if loyalty has any relation to the demographic data points that I have. The next is I have device and platform. So I'll do the same thing. I will look at if loyalty has anything to do with what platform users are using. Are they using Android, iOS? Are they using web? First access, last active is also important. It tells us the total lifespan the user has spent on the platform. So I could potentially use that. Orders is, of course, the total number of orders that users have placed. Total spend is their spend. So these are more things that they have done on the platform. Then there are these two columns, which are watched video and saved recipe, which again feel important because these are the user behaviors on the platform. I would want to see if loyalty has any, or if any of these behavior have effect on loyalty. Are people who are saving recipes more loyal, or are people watching videos are more loyal to the platform? So those are the kind of things that I can do from this data, which brings me to some of my questions that I have, right? And I already shared some of them. Let's see if this is not. Okay, so I want to see if there is any demographic pattern or if there is any pattern on demographic patterns and the usage of the product. Is there any pattern amongst the device parameters? Is there any pattern between platform engagement? So saving videos, saving recipe or watching videos, saving recipes, does that impact loyalty, right? Now, all of these things assume that loyalty is the most important thing for us. And if the users are more loyal, they bring more value to the platform. So I will just do a check to see does loyalty directly translate to more revenue, or am I imagining it? Maybe loyalty doesn't mean really anything, right? So that brings me to what data points I will look at. I will look at loyalty versus city, age, gender. I will look at loyalty versus platform. I will look at loyalty versus watch videos and saved recipes. And I look at loyalty versus average spend per order. So these are the few things that I would look at. How do I look at it? I create something called a pivot table. Some of you already created it. I'll just maybe show creating one live. So yeah, you can just find it here in insert a pivot table. It already selected the sheet that I'm using, create a new sheet. And then I add my rows as, need to use this one. Sorry, I need to use the one which has loyalty here added in it. Delete this. Rotate. So loyalty, I'll add cities, and in values I'll say ready. So the percentage of row. Okay, so as I said, we are looking at data, loyalty versus cities. Now, what do you think when I bring in this data in front of you? What's the biggest insight that stands out here? Okay, people are saying Mumbai is the best. Why is that? Okay, I see no dependencies on, right.
I think Delhi because it has more gold percentage.
Yeah. Right. So that's exactly what I was trying to point to. Somehow, of all the gold users, 50% end up in Delhi, which is very odd. As soon as I am looking at this data, it's making me feel, wow, there is something very different happening with Delhi, and I need to find out. Which is where, if you look at the question also, right? Now you start building hypotheses. Those become your questions for user research, right? Anyone wants to voice out what their hypotheses were, if I had to take a guess, why Delhi could be more? Yeah, someone is saying Delhi-based recipes. That could be one. And there could be a few more. It could be that Delhi-based users typically like to cook at home. Could be, maybe not. Or it could be maybe we are doing more marketing in Delhi. The larger point is better supply chain could also be the reason. Someone is saying pollution, don't want to go out. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, the larger point is these are some of the hypotheses that you're now building on top of data. Every time you're looking at data, it will not always give you complete answers. It will show you directions, and those directions will lead you to building a hypothesis. And of course, then you will follow up it with more data or more user research, or speak to your users, or check internally in the company. And then you'll learn, okay, why is Delhi really more? And then when you learn why, you could find out, okay, yeah, this is potentially something that we need to improve in our product. Yeah, Shavik, you have your hand raised. Go ahead. If there's a question.
So what we did was we also took Delhi, but we also took Chennai as well as Mumbai, because the number of orders there was higher. So is it fine if we do that approach as well, instead of?
Yeah. So the fundamental gap there is identifying that gold users are more important. All other users, of course, they're on the platform, but gold users are the ones that are bringing maximum value to me. So I want to find out where are these coming from. And if I'm able to identify why are these coming from these different cities, I can improve my product. Also identify where to market my product. So that's why focusing on the gold users is the most important part.
Okay.
Right. I've created a few more pivot tables. I'll not show all of them live how to create. But so this is based on city. And then we said, yeah, Delhi is potentially one of the more important things to focus on. Looking at this, does it tell you anything? Looking at gender, what do you guys think? Is gender really important? Do we need to focus on any specific gender?
No.
Right. Yeah. Gender is not much of a difference. There are hardly 4-5 percentage points of difference between these two, but it's also a function of more males versus females, and could be just slight bit of noises, right? But it's not multiple differences, like not almost 2x or higher by say 10 percentage points, right? Of course, in very large businesses, 4% would matter, but we have seen bigger differences. That's why I'm ignoring 4-5 percentage of deltas here. But yeah, so gender is not important. I could potentially target any gender. It's not adding that much of value. It could also be because maybe women are ordering from men's phones, their husband's phone. Could be. Let's look at age. I tried to create a pivot table. I realized, oh, I have just created a large set of rows. Hard to look at this data. So I added the age range, which a lot of you have done that. And then I pivoted on age range. Now, does it show you something?
Yes, 29 age is having maximum number of gold users.
29.
75 plus
40 to
40
45.
users are 35 to 45.
Yeah, 40 to 45 is the biggest one. It has 50% of gold users. The next is 35 to 40. And then there is 25 to 35. But again, the most important one is 40 to 45, right? Does that make sense? Everyone with me so far? Awesome. Let's look at based on platform behavior. You have these. So I'm not showcasing how to create pivot tables again. You can do it all of on your own as well, and I'll share this working sheet for you folks to see. But does this data show anything? Does that point you to any of any building, any hypotheses or any findings? Okay, no one is answering. See, something that's pretty clear is the use of watched video. All my gold users have watched videos. So gold users always watch videos. That is a very key insight to take away. Saved recipe, it's not creating any delta. It's almost a 50-50 split between saving a recipe or not saving a recipe. So gold users watch videos. So that's why watching videos is something that's a high value action on the platform. Now, what could I do with it? I will first try to find out why is this behavior even occurring? Why watching videos is more important? And I will build a hypothesis. I could say watching videos is one of the key reasons that triggers people to order. So that's why people are watching videos. I could also create some product experiments around it. See if I can make users watch more videos for them to order a bit more. But yeah, gold users watch a lot of videos, and even in other tiers, users are watching videos. So watching videos is important. I'll just move a bit forward from here. Here we see that web has a very small percentage amongst all users, and in gold it's in fact 0, and for others also it's 90% app, 10% web. That tells me web is potentially something that I won't focus on at all. Maybe stop spending my energies on web completely and focus only on app. So that's an insight that I could pretty much go away with it. But then I look at this, and then I see, oh, Android is 80%, iPhone is 90%, 19%, similarly across others. Do we decide to not focus on iPhone as well? Or what do we do with iPhone users?
So we can focus with the iPhone user too, because it's like if we focus on Android based, so we may lost 25% gold user also.
So do you think this, that's fair. Do you think this data is really giving us something, or it's just how it would have been?
The number of iPhone users are also less. So I think we can consider the iPhone users comparatively. Android users are more.
Yeah. So I think some of you are saying maybe the app is not built for iPhone, or maybe we need to focus on iPhone. I, as a data analyst or a PM or a business analyst, don't see any problem in this data. Because if I look at the distribution of phones across this country, it is 80 Android, 20% iPhone. It's not a lot different on how our populations are separated. If I were to build this app in the US, I would see a reverse. I would see 80% of users on iPhone and 20% on Android. Because that's how our demographic is really, right? India is really 80% Android, 20% iPhone. So it doesn't really tell much, and I wouldn't even bother about this data at all. I would be like, okay, this is what I expected it to be. Does that make sense?
Devansh, over the side, I just have a small doubt. Can you just go to this based on platform behavior?
Okay.
Yeah. So in this, the count of views watched video, how did you actually categorize the gold users as 100% in that? Like, what is like the formula that you use for that?
So that's what data is giving me. I just said put loyalties as rows and say watched videos and push what videos as yes or no, and then just add order user IDs and put it as a percentage of the row. So if I would say,
we have the same question. I shouldn't understand the percentage. How does that as number came?
Okay, you could just do this and hold on. Oh God, why is it defaulting to percentages? Something has gone wrong with my sheet. Let's just create a new one maybe.
Devansh, how are we comparing the gold users with those who have ordered the highest?
Okay, so first, for some odd reason, it is defaulting to percentages.
Press, 1, 2, 3, you can just click on that, selecting the data, and then click on 1, 2, 3. Yeah, number.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Some of the percentage was. Yeah, so this was pretty much what the data was. And what I simply did was I asked it to do it as a percentage of the row. So that's why 100% came here. So all gold users watch videos. That's pretty much what the data is saying. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, somehow we're getting it, but not really. Like how exactly we crack it is, I don't understand. Yeah.
Pretty much, I have a question.
Sorry, hold on. Let's go one by one. So,
sorry, my bad.
Oh, sorry. What's the thing that's bothering you?
So I have like so many of yeses and no over here, right? So you just calculate the number of yes.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's not use pivot tables. Let's do it the dumb way. I just filtered out for all gold users. There are 4 of them. All of them have watched videos as yes.
Okay.
It could be that you are looking at a data which is not cleaned for 0 orders, and that's why you are having a different data point in your Excel sheet. Could be because of that. But yeah, it pretty much checks out with the raw data as well.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, someone else had a question.
Yes. Devansh, I just wanted to ask, how did you choose the gold users?
How did I choose the gold users?
With what metric?
I just looked at the problem statement. It said this is the criteria. 1 to 2 orders is bronze, 3 to 2 orders is silver, greater than 6 orders is gold.
Okay.
I put that in as
so based on orders, you selected the loyalty, right?
Yeah. It's a derived data. I already have orders here. I've just converted that to the loyalty tier based on what criteria that is there.
Okay, only based on orders, right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Cool. I know some of you folks have questions, and I'll just take 5 more minutes, and then we can get to questions. If you remember, in my questions, we saw any pattern on demographic, age, city, age, gender. We saw for a particular city, there was higher reasons to focus on. 2 actions from it. We can try to identify why Delhi is more important. So, and find out why Delhi is working for us and replicate that to other cities. Also focus on Delhi in the short term. Then we saw there is an age range that is more important for us, which is 40 to 45. So we can focus on that to begin with and see why that's working. In platforms, we see web not to focus on. And then we saw watching videos is very important. If users watch videos, they're likely to become a gold customer. But I still had a question, is loyalty actually translating to more revenue or is it not? And what I do is I want to go ahead and see loyalty cross spend. So I'll have this column for a bit. Do you see this? Okay, I've written the questions here. Silver is not higher than bronze. It's in fact lower than bronze. So people who are silver customers, their total average value is actually lower than their total spend is lower than bronze users. That's probably problematic. And what ideas come to your mind? Like what would you think about it?
So should we concentrate on bronze people more?
Fair. Or maybe ask a question, why is it really that bronze users have higher?
Bronze users are mostly
because they're one-time users, or they're not repeat customers, and I can spend some money.
Yeah.
Could be that.
So, and if I look at order value, it is consistently reducing as we go along. So it's highest for bronze and lowest for it's highest for bronze and it's lowest for gold, which seems odd, and I would want to question it. Why is it? My gold users are ordering a lot more, but they are not spending as much as bronze users. And there could be two potential paths from it. You could say, okay, gold users are ordering more, but they're not actually getting us that kind of revenue. Maybe we should not focus on gold users at all. We should focus on bronze, and everything we did was wrong. Or we could go a bit deeper and see, or we could go a bit deeper and try to see why is it really happening. We could find out that bronze users, we could speak to a bronze users, and there could be a finding that bronze users typically have a higher total spend because they are doing mostly 1-2 orders, which are typically for parties, etc. They are just having a lot of people at their homes, and that's why they are doing a bigger order value. And silver and gold use us for a more day-to-day usage. So that's why they come more often, but order smaller baskets. Does that make sense?
So the number of orders is less with gold, is what you're saying here?
No, the orders are more. They are doing on an average 7 orders, but their average order value is just 148. Compared to bronze, they are doing 1.5 orders on average, but their order value is 536.
But at the same time, their spending is high for gold.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what the point I'm trying to get to is, when you look at this data, it raises a few questions in your mind. You try to build some hypotheses, try to validate it with users, and that either tells you, okay, gold users is important because they come more frequently. These are the reasons they come more frequently, and that's why their average order value is lower. But it is worth investigating. Why is it really the case? Why are gold users so high? Like, so average order value is so low.
Also, we want customers even though AOP is less, but they are ordering per day, right? Whatever, per day, per week. So obviously, we want customers who are ordering every week rather than customers who are not ordering or just ordering once a month. So
yeah, that's a good point as well. Yes. Cool. So that's pretty much the analysis that I wanted to show you guys.
Devansh, I just have one small doubt. So in gold, the last page,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So in gold, there are the count of user ID is almost like only four users are only there.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and 4 people are on an average. They're ordering almost like 7 orders per customer. Okay.
Okay. So you might ask that, Devansh, we are basing all our data analysis on 4 users. Is it the right thing to do? And that's a valid question to ask. No, it's not right. Typically, I would have expected a much larger data set, but the key point to take away is we need to look at the process here. If you look at the problem statement, our gold users are actually very high. It's not 4, it is 4,000 really. The data set is scaled down so that it becomes easier for us to grasp and look at the data set. If a data set that was given to you which had 10,000 rows, it would just be overwhelming. That's why this is a sample data set, and that's why the number of gold users appear to be 4. They are of course a lot higher. So, and say if in a real data set I had just 4 gold users, I would not do the analysis. I would question it that any findings based on just 4 users is not ideal and it doesn't point us to anything.
But in this case, I mean, should in this hypothesis, should they actually concentrate on gold users now? I mean, now seeing the data, or should they try, concentrating on silver or bronze people?
No, we should on gold because these are the most valuable customers. They're having higher average orders. Say if this number was 400, you wouldn't be asking this question, right?
Yeah.
And the actual number is really 4,000. So it's not 4. If you look here.
But it's still 3.8%. Like, should we still go ahead with gold because 4K divided by 104K is the percentage, but it's still quite small.
That's okay, right? That's our current user base. Why do you think we can't acquire more customers and take that 3.8% to 20%? That's the insight that I need to give to my marketing team, right? Go after people from Delhi, go after people beyond the age of 40, and go after people on app. If you go after those users, you are likely to increase this 3.8% to 10%, 20%, and that's more beneficial for the business.
Okay. From this slide, what did you conclude? I'm not still understanding.
No, the only conclusion that I'm trying to drive is that this average total spend, not disproportionately growing with orders, is something that is worth investigating. And then you can find more answers basis that. It could be, as someone said, they are unlocking more discounts as they go along the higher tier or more orders. Or it could be that the gold users are typically users who are used for day-to-day needs, but bronze users could be the users who are using for parties or large orders. So those are all just hypotheses that I'm throwing at you. The larger point is we get a potential hint from this particular data. Now it's on us to go back to users, find out why this is really happening. We don't have any insight from this as of now. We only have a few hypotheses, if that's your question.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, just give me 2 more minutes. Let me wrap this up and I'll go to questions. Okay. So what we did was first thing that we did was cleaned up our databases so that any erroneous rows are removed. Then we came up with some of the questions that we would really want to answer. Also, and then we realized potentially loyalty is some of the most important things to focus on. So added loyalty in our database, so added that as a derived column. And then from there, I just basis my questions, created pivot tables, tried to find out different correlations with loyalty based on loyalty and the kind of users, which gave me some of the answers. Also gave us a bit more hypotheses that we could form, things like Delhi-based recipes, etc. And then that points us to coming up with some of our questions for user research and answering some of these things in the case. Your question says, which 1 to user segments should Papo prioritize? I would say based on my analysis, 40 to 45 years from Delhi should be our immediate focus. We should really focus on. I will also do a follow-up analysis to see, are gold users only gold because they have been on the platform for a larger number of time? So there is a reason why we have this data, right? First active and last active. You could potentially go ahead and check that are gold users only on the platform gold because they have been there for 3 years, but bronze users have been only for 1 year. That's potentially a follow-up analysis that you would do. What product or growth experiments we would recommend? One thing that I would right off the bat say, how to make users watch more videos. Can I run a few experiments on that? Because that has shown to have great value on people making an order. What can be reprioritized or cut? All efforts on web platforms you should cut. It's a fairly small user base. Now it also asks me how would the strategy differ if Peppo expanded to tier 2 cities? Honestly, I don't have an answer. I would say I would do a user research, try to find out why is Delhi working for us? Why is the age group greater than 40 working for us? And when I find out those reasons, that will help me as an input to come up with a strategy for these. Should Peppo remove meal kits for singles? Potentially, yes. Age greater than 40 is what works well for us, so I would not bother about meal kits for singles. Assuming 40, like I'm making an assumption that 40 typically is a married age, and it's not all single people greater than 40 who are ordering. What experiments would be run to test price sensitivity? I don't have an answer. I would do a follow-up analysis, try to find why is silver tier average order value lower, or why is gold tier average order value lower. That's a follow-up analysis or a UXR to do. On variety, again, I would wait results from the UXR on Delhi and why Delhi has more gold users, and it could tell me that local recipes make more value, and that could be my inputs to run experiments on varieties. So you see, we started with analysis, had some questions in mind. It pointed out to a few things, and that has led us to answer some of the questions. Some of the things we couldn't answer, we need, of course, talking to users, doing more follow-up analysis to come to the final some of the answers on these things. That's pretty much all. And I will take all your questions, but before that, I just need to run a poll, which Akanksha has asked me to, and I have no idea how to do this. Just give me a minute more. Sorry. Does anyone know how to run a poll? Okay, I did. Awesome. Yeah, just log in your answers in the poll and go ahead. Vishal, let's go ahead with you. Go ahead with your questions. Vishal?
Yeah, I was just asking two questions. First is that the number 4, let's say the number was even less. I mean, the actual number was just 4. So should we then proceed to silver?
Not really. So as I was saying, the actual number was 4. We should not get stuck upon this because this is a sample case that is given to you. It's not it's like a sample data set that's given to you, right? In a real data set, the number of gold users was 4,000, and 4,000 is a significant number. That's number 1. Second is, if in reality the number of users was 4, you are right. I would go ahead and question it. I would say, based on just the number 4, we cannot derive meaningful insights. It's a very small database. But given this is a sample case, we have given you less data so that you can actually do the problem statement in say an hour. If you had given you 10,000 rows, it would have been difficult. So for this discussion, don't get stuck upon it was just 4. See the process and say if this was 4,000 and the insights remain the same. It's pretty much the same outcome.
Devansh, I have a doubt here. I'd like to add a point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. See, even in the case if we take like 4,000 as a number, so whereas like the one-time users were 80,000 people, so which is proportionately it is a significant lesser value, right?
Yes,
so, but like why don't we think of converting like bronze people into silver or like retain more silver customers, and so in order it gets more converted to gold? Why are we not thinking in that aspect? Is my question.
Right. So as a business, we have 80,000 bronze, 20,000 silver, and 4,000 gold. That's roughly 124K users, right? Yeah. Now, as a business, is 124K users good for us? Potentially not. We want to go to 1 million users, right? To build a meaningful business. Do you agree with me?
True.
Yeah. So now, if I want to go from 124K to 500,000 and million users, what should my strategy be? Should I try to find out what are the real gold users and try to bring them on the platform, or keep on recruiting bronze users, spending my CAC there, and then also spend more retention efforts, discounts, etc. to convert them to gold? Which one do you think is a better approach?
Obviously, like working on the gold people.
Right. So that's why the analysis is not about what do we do with the 124K users that we have on hand. The idea is we will bring in more users.
Okay.
Which kind of users we should bring onto the platform. And that's the gold users.
Okay. So once we do that, then we should think about expansion of bronze or silver is the thing, is it? Or should we even chuck them out, or like what is the thing?
No, I mean, we could meaningfully grow to a big company just by focusing on gold users.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. So one more question was from mind. In the case there was.
Sorry, if that's not a follow-up, then let's raise hands. Let's go in order.
Yeah, it was just related to referrals. Like in the case, it was sorry,
Vishal, sorry to cut you. If it's related to referrals and not related to the question we're discussing, just raise your hand. We will go in the order. There are a few people who have already raised their hands.
Okay.
I don't want to break the chain. But Ovia, I hope your doubt is clear. I understand a lot of you would have this doubt that why not focus on bronze and silver, and why focus on gold. I hope you folks now understand. If there are more questions on it, feel free to ask. I'm okay to spend a bit more time on this. Okay, I see a few thumbs up, and I'm assuming folks are clear. Yeah, Shawik, go ahead with your question.
My actual question is the same. Like, if we want to convert more gold users, like basically from our base we have just 4% of them, and then we have to convert from our like fundamentally there might be something wrong with the product. That is why conversion rate is so low. So it is less than 50%, 60%. Like first, after the first order itself, the like all our consumers are dropping off. So isn't it that there is a fundamentally something is wrong, hence the retention is low, and hence there is less of gold users or gold subscribers? So should, and if we see in terms of revenue aspect as well, so because average order value for bronze as well as silver is much more than gold. So even on in terms of revenue aspect, they are the ones who are bringing in more revenue than gold. So like considering 80% or like almost 80% of them are from silver, so how do we like just leave them aside and we can go, like in terms of business point of view, I want to understand that.
Yeah, we are not leaving them aside. See, we have 80,000 silver users and 4,000 gold users. It is an acquisition problem, right? We haven't been able to acquire the right users for our business.
Or is it an acquisition problem, or Devansh, what I want to understand is it like there is something fundamentally wrong with the product, that from first to there is no second conversion, so that stickiness itself is not there unless and until it is meeting a very specific, just 4% of the audience is where we are able to fulfill their needs. So might be our target audience is only wrong, and hence like the fundamental problem lies there.
Right. So see, let's take it one by one, right? First of all, it's definitely an acquisition problem. And why I am saying so is because not all businesses will give value to everyone, right? Different businesses will give value to different set of users. That's why that's the core of segmentation, right? Why segmentation is important? Because we need to find out what is our ideal customer profile and go after our ideal customer profile. If we go after a non-ideal customer profile, we will fail as a business, not able to sustain spending efforts in the wrong place. Now I have launched my product, sprayed and prayed everywhere, done multiple marketing campaigns. You see, we've done everything, right? And we found there is a set of 4,000 users for whom the product is working. They are actually finding value from the product, right? They're doing 7 orders. Can we say they're finding value from the product? They're liking the product and they're finding the product amazing. So that's proof enough for me that the product is good. It's not, of course, good for all the sorts of users, but there is a set of users for which the product is really good. It works for them, right? Now, in order to grow my business, I will, of course, try to find more such users for which I am able to drive value in the current product, right? And alongside, I will make changes to my product so that I can increase the base of users that I can drive value to. But as immediately, I will focus on users who I am actually delivering value to, right? Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I focus on gold users immediately. They are the ones bringing in value. How I can find more gold users. And say once that is done and I am able to now, I really understand how I keep bringing gold users to the platform. That may be a time to focus on, say, okay, now we've done this great job. This is my ideal customer profile. I have acquired a lot of them, or everyone knows about me. They are my business is growing meaningfully with those users. Maybe let me think about some of these other things.
Okay. Okay. I had another question basically.
Yes.
So it was with like there was a question like should PayPal remove meal kits for singles? Okay, but the data set, like what you told us, we can ideally like remove it, but then the data sets doesn't tell us anything like with regards to the like whether single meal kits are being sold or not. So how do we make that conclusion there?
In a real world scenario, I would ask for more data and I would say, give me data on single meal kits. I would compare it with more orders and see how's the distribution looking like. I made an assumption based on our data that given most gold users are 40 plus, maybe singles is not the right area to focus on at this point.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, Pranit, go ahead.
Hi. So in the case, right, we had a question: what products or growth experiments would you recommend? See, when I first read it, right, I thought it was people focusing, the business focusing on the meal kits for singles or families. So that is not the case, right? It is about the product, right? The software.
Yeah, okay. It's about the app that users are using.
Okay, not the. Okay, yes. Got it. Okay.
Cool. Is that all?
Yeah, I have one more question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So basically, when we discuss about the meal kits, right? So obviously in the table, we don't have the data of the products that were, companies are selling, right? So obviously, we can take a guess. Why would the age group above 40 will order meal kits for singles, right? Because they are generally married. So, but this is just an assumption, right?
Yes.
Okay. Not data back, just an assumption.
Yeah, you could say that, Devansh, I will not take your answer and I will talk to some of the gold users who are there on the platform and see if these are single 40-year-olds. And let me just double check, and I will not take your answer right now. I would not disagree with you. I'd say yes, that's a fair point to say, and go ahead.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, Pallavi, go ahead.
Hi, Devansh. So I just wanted to ask about this point. How would the strategy differ if people expanded to tier two cities? So can we discuss on the advertisement part here? Because so many users, so many public does not know about this app itself. So can it be the one solution there?
Honestly, I don't have an answer to you really, because I don't know what would work in tier 2 cities. Honestly, I don't even know why Delhi is higher. Just for the sake of answering your question, let's do a thinking exercise, right? Let's say Delhi is working because we have a lot of Delhi based recipes, right? Let's say that's the reason why Delhi is working. And the other reason why it is working is for the other reason why it is working for 40-year-olds is because both the male and female in the family are working, and they have kids, and they want to cook for them on some of the weekends to feed them the thing that they really like to eat or they have learned from their local areas. So that's why 40-year-old and this Delhi combination is working. Now with that input, if someone would ask me what would be your tier 2 expansion strategy, my answer would be, we will only target cities that typically eat North Indian food to begin with, because we don't have enough South Indian or other cuisines on our platform as kids. So it does not make sense to focus on them right away. I'll focus on North Indian cities first. That would be my number one strategy point immediately. And I would say I will focus on cities where there is likelihood that both male and female are going to work. So then cities like, say, Agra would be a city, or Ghaziabad would be a city that I focus on. Ghaziabad is not really tier 2, but I'm running out of examples. But examples of cities where there is a chance that there's a sizable audience that both male and female are working. I'll focus on those cities, and not on cities where I know 99% of women are not working. They are housewives. I would not focus on those cities to begin with. That would be my number one starting point to tier 2 strategy. And then I would maybe lead on from there to do more things. But that would be my first thing to focus on, given if I have these answers that I said.
Okay. So I know this part is not mentioned anywhere in the case study advertisement part, but as a company point of view, I'm just thinking about the revenue and the more exposure. So I just wanted to add that advertisement part.
Correct. We can run ads, but it's about who are we targeting with our ads, right? We will of course run ads. Without ads, we can't. The people won't know about the company, so we will need to do ads. We'll need to do PR. We'll need to do maybe offline marketing as well. But the idea is, who do we do these ads to? Who do we show these ads? Do we show these ads on MTV, or do we show these ads on Star Plus? Potentially, more likely MTV, right?
Right. And also just on the retention part, so can we throw some offer like after your first order, immediately we can show some offer for the second order, so that retention would be more, and they will be having something or like offer for the limited time just for the second order.
Sure.
So
See, you could do that, but if just to advise to all of you, whenever you're thinking about solving problems, growing businesses, let's get out the loop of offering discounts. That's not a sustainable way to grow the business. So yeah, that approach doesn't really work. I know we have seen companies around us do it. That's fine, but you're not really working in companies right now. You're also preparing for breaking into the role. Also, we will be interviewing. So let's get out of this loop of offering discounts as solutions to solve some of the problems. Let's completely move away from that. Let's find out real ways to solve the problem, not discounts. Doesn't help much. That's an advice to all of you. Please don't come to discounts as your number one solutions in any of the cases, even right now, even during interviews. Never.
Sure. Noted. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, Swati, go ahead.
Hey, yeah. So my question was like you based all of your actual answers based on loyalty, which is basically you needed some simplification. So you went ahead with the number of orders.
Right.
But you could have as much like equally used AOV or maybe orders divided by users, like revenue divided by orders. Like how did you come to this place? Like maybe loyalty is the right thing. Is that a simplification or is there some kind of logic?
No, I went ahead with loyalty.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a same question on the line, so that I'm interrupting. So as Swati said, like everything we have circling around this loyalty. So if we change that circling around path to some other else, like average order or the number of users per order, in the sense, totally it will, in that case, we will eventually neglect the gold users, right? Even though we, so why can't we think in that line?
Right. Let's take a step back. If loyalty is really the right metric to focus on.
Yeah.
whenever, and I think I answered this when I was talking about why to focus even loyalty at all. See, whenever you are trying to grow a business, run a business, the most valuable users are the users who keep coming back to the platform almost on a daily basis, or regularly. Like, those are your most valuable users. If some of you watch Shark Tank or any of these things, the most important question that any of the investors ask is, what is your repeat rate? Because repeat is a sign that the product is working for the user. User may buy the product once for trying or twice for sporadic use cases, right? But if they're coming back to a product regularly, then that's a sign that the product is working for them. So, and if I were to take a proxy as to what is working for them, if the product is working for them, what would be the metric that I look at? It would, of course, be number of orders. It would not be total spend. It would not be average order value. None of these. It would primarily be how many orders have they placed. Because if they're coming regularly, they are the users who are finding value. And then I could have, of course, you say, why did you put a greater than 6 filter? Yes, I simplified. I looked at the problem statement. It already had loyalty tiers defined based on orders. So I use that, and I use that criteria to define the number of orders. If I were, say, working at Peppo, I would come up with my own criteria of, okay, what users can we say that these are the ones that are actually, like, what is the number of orders that we can say that these are the users who are finding value? What would be that threshold?
So while interviewing, what I understand is there is simplification, yes, but it's also like, what can you defend? Is my understanding.
It's not about what can you defend. It's honestly, that's the only way to do it, right? Facebook also did it when they were growing. They said that we will find ways so that users get to 6 friends, because after 6 friends, users tend to organically use the platform and engage on the platform. So our key focus area is how to get to users to 6 friends. Now, you could say, why are you saying friends? Why is friends important? But that's what we are seeing in data. We're seeing if users have more than 6 friends, they tend to keep coming back, keep engaging. And that's the same reason. If users have greater than 6 orders, they are very loyal, they have higher retention. That's why I'm basing my criteria on number of orders. And it's also useful because they are the ones who are constantly coming back. If so, they keep coming back. I spend on them once to acquire them, but then they keep using me for multiple times a year, and then I make value on every transaction.
Okay, noted. So
And it's not just for this case. So, sorry, I'll just take one more point. It applies everywhere. I used to work at Hotstar, and the most important users were who used to spend more time on the platform, who used to watch more. We would always try to make users watch more on the platform, because if they watch more on the platform, they are likely to subscribe again because they have found value from the platform. The platform has entertained them for the entire year. If the user has subscribed and has watched a lot, that is the right user base who will subscribe again. So we always focused on always try to increase the watch time there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, understood. Yeah, I think your point is valid.
Yes, understood. So that's what actually was my next question was like.
No, but I think, Karthi, I'm not done yet. I have still
okay.
Yeah. So, Devansh, there were also some segments which we didn't cover. So, is it necessary to cover all the segments? Yeah, if we can just have 2-3 high impact segments, that's enough mostly.
No, but look at the database, right? We pretty much use every column to see if loyalties has a correlation with those columns. We don't have any data points to build more segments anyways.
Okay. Yeah. So otherwise also it's not making sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are some questions like what are unmet needs, and there are some questions around interviewing, design, user research. I'm still not clear how to go about them, quantitative methods.
Yes. So see, the analysis is not going to give you all the answers. It will only point to some things. So for user research, you will need an UX. Like, your user research question is, why is 50% of my gold users in Delhi? What is really working for Delhi?
Okay.
Or why is the age group greater than 40 working for us? Those are your user research questions. These are the questions you would want to talk to users and find out, right? Why Delhi? Why not Bangalore? Or why not Chennai?
Mm-hmm. And what about like low intent users? How do you go about them? It says which acquisition sources are bringing low intent users. From the looks of it, it looks like it should be Instagram ads, because
I see. It's asked that question, but honestly, I would focus on these recommend actions and some of the questions here, right, that Aditi has asked to answer.
So they're not so important. The other one that's not so important.
These are the key things to focus on. These questions and the questions recommend actions. These are the things to focus on. These are all thinking frameworks, right? What are the unmet needs? What acquisition sources are bringing in low intent users? We can't answer this at this moment. If say this question was given, I would say with the data that we have, we don't know. We could potentially look at this and say, okay, we can just look at this data and say which one is bringing in the lowest, and Instagram ads is that one.
I think Instagram ads looks like it should be the answer, but SEO maybe because drop from week 1 to week 4 is the highest in SEO. It's like on 23%. 22%. So it looks like SEO should be the one also. Like I was confused how to go about it. Like should we see the drop difference or should we see the absolute in week 4?
Right. So we should see absolute in week 4. That is number one.
Okay.
Because drop, yes, but net benefit to the platform is still 16% compared to say if this was 80% and this was 50%, it is dropping by 30%, but 50% retention is very good, right? If 50% more are users on the platform even in week 4, that's good for us, right?
Yeah. Okay, got my answer. Thanks.
So to answer your question, you can only answer from this table. There is no more in this data set to actually get to that answer.
And from that, Instagram makes sense then.
Yeah. And also the biggest CAC, by the way.
Oh, right. Yeah. So low intent, basically, we are spending also and they're not retaining, so there's no point.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thanks. They are the questions. Thanks.
Yeah, Karthik, go ahead.
Yeah, Devan. So whatever we are discussing, like, so who are the customers that we are keep coming back? So that be the potential customer we will look on. So can we map it to user behavior aspect?
But what do you do with user behavior? If you are trying to identify the user base who is likely to be a gold customer, they have not, and to run the marketing ads, they've not even come to the platform yet, right?
Okay.
So their platform behavior is irrelevant at that point.
Okay.
You could do re-engagement. Like if I had to do re-engagement activities, I would use platform behavior and say, okay, the users who have watched videos, I'll focus on them to re-engage them onto the platform if they've left once.
Okay, got that. And a small last question that from the table column, we found that average order for gold and all this, and from the data set which we are giving the problem statement is different. So which one to take it?
Yeah, I saw that, and I realized it much later. I think that's mostly a miss in the data set. Let's rely on the one that's in the table. That's in the problem statement, not in the data set.
Okay, got that. Thank you.
Yeah, Karthik, go ahead.
Hi, Devansh. I do have the clarity of the insights from the data which you just told. I just have a follow-up strategy question. I think which you already mentioned. Like from the insights which we have drawn, what should be the next step? I think just let me know if I'm correct or wrong. We should go for the user surveys or user reviews regarding the segmentation-based revenue that we are generating.
Yeah.
Okay. Because as per my assumption, the age group between 41 above 40, I think they would be living a better lifestyle, not struggling at jobs, good income, and things like that. And similarly, the age group which is less from 20 to 30 or 20 to 35, they would be single or they would be like trying to switch between jobs or something like that.
Yeah.
And their income may be less. So should we go with the user research or user survey as a next step to deeply get into this case statement or not?
No, so I think immediately, because people want answers at companies, right? I would immediately say all your marketing campaigns run only for Delhi for people 40 plus. That's immediate, right? Meanwhile, I'll ask my UXR team to tell me why is Delhi working so well? Why is 40 plus working so well? Get me those answers. And as you said, we could have some of the hypotheses, as you said, and I'll share my hypotheses with the UX research team. But we need to really talk to users to get to that answer. So yes, we need to do the survey, but we also need to give some of the answers that we already have. Like right now, focus more on Delhi and 40 plus. You can't keep waiting for surveys and keep the business paused until then, right?
Okay. To generate like revenue in a short term, I think we should go with the assumptions we have got. For a long term, we can go for the user surveys.
Yeah, so the UXR team is going to take 3 weeks to run this survey and get an answer. I won't ask the business to stop doing what they're doing, right? I would.
Okay. Also, one more question regarding the acquisition source. It was seen that through referrals, the retention rate was high, right? So this is also my assumption, I might be wrong, but people who are like aged above 40, I think they would not be using Instagram that much. So that is why through referrals only they got to know about this, and they have been the repeated customers.
Yeah, it's a good hypothesis, but again, has to be validated with user research. Can't take a... So that's the point. That's the entire outcome of this analysis, right? You do an analysis, you build hypotheses, and then validate it with user research. And that's when you get the full picture.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, Sapna, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question was regarding the user research and insights. So once you got the idea of, okay, what is where to focus on. So how should we approach to the user research? Like, should we, like, there is one way to kind of taking a poll or anything. So like, how should we approach that user research thing?
Talking to users. You need to call users and speak to them with prepared questions. That's the only way to run this user.
So like it's regarding the existing users.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's all about. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, Firoz, go ahead.
So based on your assumption, focus on gold users. But won't it create a bad impact on bronze and silver users? Like there are some percentage of people who are in bronze category and who are in silver. So they might feel demotivated and they left.
But I am not blocking them to not use the platform, right? I am just focusing more on gold users for my acquisition channels. I am not saying that I will block the platform for silver users or they can't use it. They can pretty much continue to use it, and they will continue to use the platform. I'm not blocking them from doing anything.
Okay.
I'm not even saying that you need to be a gold user to use the product. Right? Anyone can use it. I'm just saying I will focus on acquiring more gold customers than bronze or silver customers.
Okay. Thank
and that's why, and those are still my definitions. I've derived from data that gold is Delhi and 40 plus. So I will focus on that, not even gold. It was just an interim step to get to the real users.
Because according to the company, they might be thinking like Delhi is not the one. Like they need to focus on Kolkata, Mumbai, or so, Bengaluru as well.
Correct. Yeah, that's why we also need to do a user research and say why is Delhi working, and what if there are clear reasons, we should replicate those reasons for other cities. We don't want to be just limited to Delhi, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, Manisha, go ahead.
Hi, Devansh. My question is more like it's general question. I mean, while doing any case study, so I mean, is it mandatory to find that one metric which is related to business outcome and then do your data analysis thing, like we have done here? We have focused on this loyalty thing. So in the context of loyalty thing, we have done all the analysis.
Right. No, so we've focused on loyalty here because that seemed like the right thing to do. But eventually, it's on the business or for any of the problems. If you remember, I was trying to do this, right? I was asking you folks, what does success look like for us? So that's a pretty good thinking framework. How can we say if we are really successful? And for us, it translated to users who are ordering more. If I can bring a lot more like that users on the platform, that would seem to be success. And that's why we started loyalty. So yeah, and you could do that with some metric, you could do with some guideline. But the idea is we need to know what success looks like, and more often than not, it will be a metric than anything else.
So that would be our business outcome, right?
It could be an outcome of this activity.
Hello.
I think Devansh is there. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I think problem is from the Devansh.